Hello, this is senior forward Amanda Monkman from the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. This is the Jeff Giesen Show on KBSE.
Welcome to the Jeff Giesen Show. Scott Gross with you, along with the head coach, Jeff Giesen of the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. Last weekend, the Minnesota Golden Gophers were in town. They are riding a 59-game win streak. Let's get into the action first of all. Last Friday night, you guys would start off behind a goal by Sarah Davis at the 5:43 mark in the opening period, and then you guys would go into the locker room down 1-0 last Friday. Talk a little bit about what you were telling the girls. You're only down one goal in that Friday afternoon contest.
Well, we were just going to try to keep, we need to keep it close, and obviously being down one and on a pretty good goal on their part. So. We just kept doing what we're doing. I thought we played a great weekend, and a lot of good things happened, and just kind of move on from there.
Second period, two more goals. Kelsey Klein would get one. Rachel Bona would add another one. You guys would be down 3-0 after two. Now you go back in the locker room once again, and once we get into the third, and then we start on Saturday, there's going to be sort of a change that develops in your squad through the final four periods that would go on the weekend. What was happening in the second intermission that time?
Well, we've been in those situations a lot of times, down by a few goals, and this team has shown time and time again they're not going to quit. So to come out and get the next one and make it 3-1 it showed a little bit of resilience and just trying to set the tone. And we've came from behind and got back into some games. We've been close and not finished them off, so there wasn't any kind of quit, and that was exciting to see.
Now turned around, Huskies will try and get something going on this one. It's Kelsey Salin. She'll score on the play. Just a weird little puck that she puts on the net, and she finds the back of this one, Ryan. And like I said, the Huskies got to score early in this one, and just an absolutely strange play. The goal will actually go, I believe, to Paige Penna, dropped off from Kelsey Salin's right next to the net. Just kind of a weird play, bounced off the skate, and then found the back of the net, makes it 3-1 at 18:53 in the third.
Paige Pena would notch her first goal of the season early in the third at the 1:07 mark. That would make it 3-1. You guys would not have any quit, as you mentioned. Then late, about 2 minutes after that, would be a goal by Kelly Terry to make it 4-1. That would be the final score. On Friday afternoon, 4-1 would be the score, but then things would take a turn for the good for you guys. On Saturday afternoon, you guys would come right out of the locker room early on this goal by Abby Ness at the 7:39 mark, assisted by Michelle Burke and by Julia Gilbert.
They've really been buzzing. There's a quick shot and a rebound score! Abby Ness and the Huskies strike first. Nothing lead. That goal coming at the 7:39 mark.
Talk a little bit about the energy that infused through your team on that goal by Abby.
Well, yeah, I think we've shown a couple times here when we score first, it kind of elevates our game, and obviously getting up two there was very exciting. So it sets the tone. It gives our players a little confidence. We can kind of keep building off of that.
Molly Mott strikes right after that with a goal right here at the 13:10 mark, assisted by Julia Gilbert.
And both teams now fighting. Little kick pass out in front for Gilbert. She got her stick on it. Rebound, scores! The Huskies tack on another one. And did you see who that was, Ryan?
That was Molly Mott. Molly Mott wrapping it around the net. Great awareness.
Now, all of a sudden, you guys are up 2-0. Now what's the mood on the bench as you guys go to that first intermission? You guys have the number one team, 60 games in a row, on the ropes here.
With 40 minutes to play. So
with 40 minutes to play.
Definitely not feeling any kind of resolve there. And, the message was knowing exactly. Obviously, Coach Frost and I are good friends, and I knew exactly what he was going to tell his team, and it was evident in what happened in the second. We knew they were going to come out higher than ever and as hard as ever, and that's probably the hardest they came at us all weekend was the second period. Yeah, they notched two, and be thankful that we had the two in the first to kind of make it even. So now it came down, we got it into a situation where you play those good teams, and now it's a 20-minute game, and that's exactly kind of what we wanted it to be. Obviously, we would have preferred to be up still by a goal or two going into the third, but to be even and going into the third against a team like that was pretty exciting.
Gophers get two goals in the second, one at the 3:56 mark, a power play goal by Sarah Davis. She would follow that about 3 minutes later at the 6:45 mark, 2-2 as you mentioned. Then starting things off in the third, it seems like your team always seemed to score right away early in a period. Here, 49 seconds in, Lauren Hespenheide gets a greasy one, courtesy of Kelsey Salins was there as well. You guys are up 3-2 now early on in the third.
Huskies with a chance there. Goes near side and they score! Unbelievable! Number 9, Lauren Hespenheide with the goal. She snuck that one in.
Yeah, and I think in Hespe's quotes on the weekend too, we keep telling them to put pucks on net, and she shot from a bad angle a little bit, and it goes in, and good things are going to happen if you put the puck on the net. So that set the tone, and obviously now the message then was to keep our foot on the gas. I mean, we didn't go in any kind of shell, and we were going to keep playing with them toe-to-toe there and try to finish the game off.
After that goal by Lauren, it's 3-2. Watching the clock now, 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. You guys are still up 3-2, and the energy level is starting to heighten itself there. 450-plus people there to watch you guys there. And then there was a bit of a call being between the benches. Icing was the call, and you weren't happy with that call later in the contest. When you go back and look at it, do you still think it was a negative call versus your team on that one? Because things really started to get a little quirky as the game got later.
Honestly, I didn't go back and look at it closely. It was, we weathered that storm, and the icings are such a big call in our league right now because of the no change factor, and if you get caught in a long shift, that's a huge momentum swing. So, my thing is linesmen have two jobs: call icings and offsides, and they need to be perfect. They don't have to worry about calling penalties. They don't have to worry about listening to us decide what a penalty is, what a penalty isn't. So it's two things. And with the hybrid now, there's a little bit of decision on the race, and I just thought we had beat their player down there, and it should have been waived. But that's the way it goes. But we survived that. We got through that shift, and then I thought, all right, here we go.
Here we go is right. 4 minutes left in the game. You guys are still up 3-2. 3 minutes left in the contest. You guys are still up 3-2. Then there was a big cluster right in front of your goaltender, Katie Fitzgerald. Danny Cameronisi would find a deflection down low. 17:58 on the mark, tied the score 3-3. Talk a little bit about the goal scored by Cameronisi and a little bit about what happened on your bench after that.
Well, this is obviously a little bit deflating, but it was that was only the tire, so we were still in it, still looking to get points, and that's the thing. We've whoever we're playing, we're trying to get points in the league each weekend. So just trying to get, all right, we're tied, let's get through the game, get into overtime, maybe a shootout, whatever's going to happen from there. And the goal, what are you going to do? It's a deflection goal that threw a wrister in from the point, and it hits Cameronisi's shaft and goes in. Not much Fitzy can do on a redirect, and we had plenty of people in front trying to move people, and that's hockey sometimes.
Tie score with 1:22 left to go, or 122 seconds left in the game. Then with 69 seconds left, McMillan goes top shelf, 4-3. That would be the final there, kind of a deflating there. 2 uppercuts, and your team could not absorb those. 4-3. The University of Minnesota escapes having their 60-game win streak snapped. You guys were that close. I know it was deflating, and I know when I talked with Amy Olsen at the end of the game, I didn't want to harbor on the negativity, but wanted to look more closely at how hard of a fought game it was and how much your team battled, because if you look at the last 2 weekends, you guys have really, really, really played well.
No, we're really happy with the way we played well. We're 12 games into a 34-game schedule, so, we'd obviously like to have a few more wins in the column, but also no one's played a tougher schedule in the country than us right now. So, we need to get into some of our non-conference games and some teams that are more like us right now, and hopefully that will bode well for how we've played so far. But again, there's some chances to steal some points from some teams above us, and we didn't get it done, and that's what we got to try to get done here in the second half.
As a coach, what did you tell the girls when you went into the locker room after that? I'm sure that there was a lot of hurt feelings down there, a lot of sorrow, but as a motivator and a coach, we just talked about it. They played amazing. So how do you get them to keep their heads up and go on the attack coming up this weekend?
Well, you just said it. We got to keep our heads up. We're a good team. We're playing well right now, and we just need to catch some breaks by working hard and getting it done. I mean, we're a couple minutes away from being back in the limelight for our 15 minutes of fame. But, I think it made us better. It's going to make us stronger. And like I said, it's so early in the season, and you feel like you got punched in the gut, like a playoff loss. But we got a lot of time to make up for it now and then to move on.
Talk about that so-called 15 minutes of fame. You guys' game was on ESPN, a little clip there. You had some very nice emails and tweets, I'm sure. So what actually did that do in a positive sense for your program?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everybody obviously, we've went through some down times here, and I think the people that have seen those down times and seen our team play now it's night and day. I mean, we're a much better team. We're back on track to where we were, 3 years ago. I think we're making great strides. Our young players are contributing. Our older players have really stepped up their role. So I think just, obviously everybody's real happy that we're contending. I mean, easily that, 3 years ago that could have been a 10-1 game or something. And obviously that's not the case with a team that's won 61 straight anymore.
He's Jeff Giesen, the head coach of the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll talk with our players. Then we'll bring the coach back in. We'll talk about a very interesting trip coming up this weekend. This is the Jeff Giesen Show on KVSC.
Welcome to Pete's Place, home of the world-famous eclectic breakfast. What can I get y'all?
Yeah, can I get some cat power and some white stripes and a little bit of George Harrison for the lady?
Can I have an order of Annie DeFranco, but instead of Cowboy Junkies, can I get the replacements?
Yeah, I would like an order of some Nick Cave with a side of the bad seeds. And could I get a little John Prine with that?
That sounds good. That'll be 6 to 9 every Sunday morning right here on KVSC.
That's right. Tune in to KVSC every Sunday from 6 to 9 a.m. for Eclectic Breakfast.
There's too many people.
We'll be playing you anything you want to hear to help get your last day of the weekend started off right. Eclectic Breakfast every Sunday from 6 to 9 a.m. only on your sound alternative 88.1 FM KVSC.
Hey, this is junior forward Callie Funk from the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. Follow everything Huskies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week right here on the KVSC Sports Stream.
Welcome back to the Jeff Giesen Show. Now time for our player segment. We're joined by sophomore defender number 7, Skye Kelly, and freshman defender number 11, Caroline Markstrom. First of all, we'll talk with the sophomore number 7, Skye Kelly. And Skye, still stings a little bit, I bet, over last weekend when we talk about the Minnesota Golden Gophers or bring up the name Gophers. You guys had them right on the ropes there. 122 seconds left in that contest. But overall, when I interviewed Amy Olsen at the end of the game, I didn't want to highlight the loss, but I wanted to highlight how competitive it was and how fun it was to be in a game like that. As a defender, what was it like for you over the weekend?
It was a fun game to play. I mean, our whole team was having fun out there. We were smiling, cheering the whole way through. It's just tough that we didn't pull through the last 2 minutes of the game. But as a defender, it was awesome to play back there and play against the great players on the Gophers and know that we can compete. And now everybody's talking about us and know that we can compete with everybody, and it's awesome that.
For what you guys did, you got a little clip on SportsCenter as well on ESPN to be right on there. So that had to be pretty interesting looking for yourself or anybody else who may be appearing there and being seen nationwide. So anything, do you guys still rehash what happened at the end of that contest on Saturday, or is it pretty much put behind you?
We just can't focus on what really happened, just focus on the positives of everything. Obviously, we can work on some things and finish to the whistle or the buzzer at the end of the game, but we know what the breakdown was, and we know in the future what to do to fix it. So it's just we're looking past it right now and getting it to boost us for the next games coming up.
What was the locker room like after?
It's pretty quiet. There was a lot of heads down. Coach Giesen said not to keep your head down. We played a good game, but it's just tough to lose to such a good team and knowing that we just had it those two minutes. And what's 2 minutes in the whole game that made that difference, We played so hard, and it's just tough that everybody worked their butts off, and it was just rough to see, but I'm proud of the team.
You guys as a whole have really been working your tails off. You've had, I think, in the first 6 weeks, all of the teams have been ranked in the top 10 in the country, and you guys take the number 1 team down to the very end. They're ranked the number 1 in the country, 61 wins in a row. But if we go back to the last 2 weekends, You guys were up in Duluth on the road, got your first win of the year, a big win. I mean, it wasn't even close. You guys pretty much smashed them right in the mouth.
Yeah, it felt good.
And then you came away with a tie.
Yeah.
And then you came home and played the Golden Gophers as hard as anybody has all year long. So taking that away, you guys have really made a lot of strides from where you were in the beginning of the season to where you are now.
Yeah, it's been nice. I think everybody's just finally clicking, and we have great team chemistry on and off the ice, and I think that helps a lot. And finally, everybody is really confident in themselves, and that's the biggest thing that we need to be, is confident and just have fun out there and know that we can compete with any team in the nation, and we need to know that also, and I think we are finally getting to know, and it's good to see that everybody's playing with some smiles on their face and having fun out there.
Another smile to your face will be a nice sort of vacation coming up this weekend. You guys get to go to beautiful Val, Colorado, take on Boston University, take on Northeastern University, two teams that you've never seen in quite some time. Maybe, well, you're only a sophomore, so maybe you haven't seen them at all. But will it be nice to get out of the WCHA for a while?
Yeah, it's always nice to play some other teams and especially go on the road. I think everybody loves going on their own, especially to beautiful Colorado. So it'll be nice to see these teams and see what they are like, and just the atmosphere of the whole thing in general. You know, we are always thankful to go out there and play some hockey, but just being out there and like as a team and getting to experience that, it's nice. So I'm very excited.
Do you feel that this tournament in Colorado comes at a very good time for you to maybe put the Gopher series behind you? You'll be in Colorado, then you guys will have a week off before you get back into play?
Yeah, I think it's coming at a good time. We can kind of break away from the WCHA and show teams what we're about now, and not just in the WCHA, but in the nation, and show them what we can do as a team, and it'll be good.
Speaking with number 7, sophomore defender Skye Kelly. She has 3 assists on the year so far, 3 points. How would you assess yourself on the ice so far, from where you started in the season to where you are now?
I think as a player individually, my game has gotten a lot stronger. I know in the weight room I've been pushing out some good weights and stuff, and I feel like that's been helping me on the ice a lot, and just becoming more confident with the puck, and just the teammates all around, they've been helping us out, and my defense partner, Michelle Burke, we really play well together, and I think we both feed off of each other and make each other look good, so I have to thank her a lot for that.
Yeah, we had Michelle on a couple weeks ago, and she echoed exactly what you were saying, that she really enjoys playing with you, and you guys, you know, are right there and know what each other is going to do. So, you know, kudos out to you and out to her. Yeah. Looking forward, what are some goals that maybe you have set for yourself here this year?
Just continuing playing like a really strong game out there, making those good passes, and just always moving my feet. That's one thing I always have to work on, is moving my feet, getting back to the defensive end first, and winning all those little battles. But just play as a team and have fun out there.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in this team? You came in last year as a freshman to where you are now, almost halfway through your sophomore season.
I just think the team in general, everybody, the freshmen that came in, I feel like they brought some good energy with them and just is helping everybody out. Like, this team is brand new, and everybody knows we have a shot at anything. You know, anything could happen, especially in the Herb Brooks Center. It's a great feeling to play on this team this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Can you explain why all of a sudden your team is starting to score 2, 3, 4 goals a game?
I feel like, especially in practice, I feel like we get harped on a lot because, I mean, whatever you do in practice, you're going to do in a game, right? So I just think a lot of people are having confidence with the puck and just tucking it away, and especially our freshmen that have stepped up the past couple of games, it's helping us out a lot. And knowing, especially Amy Olsen with those 2 goals, especially in her career, it's really nice to see all those people getting those confidence and putting the puck away.
Speaking about Amy Olsen, she and the rest of the captains do a really nice job on the bench. I know I was down there between the benches over the weekend and just watching, you know, what she does and how she goes and patting everyone on the back and keeping the spirits up when there's a goal, and then you guys would come back and forth and just trying to keep those spirits up. You've got some pretty good leaders there on this team.
Yeah, I think so. Amy's, as she's a forward and we're always on the defensive end, Carol and I, she always comes down and pats us on the back and tells us to keep going, and we do the exact same thing right back to her. And I think that's the main thing on the bench too, is you gotta keep your chin up, and if you're down, you keep it up and encourage everybody, and we'll get one right back.
All right, thanks, Skye.
Thanks so much for having me.
Skye Kelly, sophomore defender, wears the number 7 on her sweater for the St. Cloud State Huskies, and I'll pass it over to freshman number 11, Caroline Markstrom. And Caroline, welcome to the broadcast today. So first things first, you grew up in Sweden, Covalent, Sweden. Now, how did you come to the States? How were you recruited, and what landed you in St. Cloud?
I had like a college hockey advisor in Sweden that I was talking to, and like he knew the coaches here and a couple other coaches, so he like got me in contact with them. So yeah, I ended up here.
Looking at your time here, how different is the game in Sweden than it is in the States right now?
I don't really know. Like I feel like this team is better than the team I used to play with in Sweden, or it is, but like the hockey, I wouldn't say it's much of a difference. I feel like in Sweden we could play like a little bit more like on the body, except like because here like the roughs really like hard on that, like get a lot of penalties for it. I feel like in my old league that was like they were a little bit more like laid off, but I don't know. I feel like it's still the same game.
Is it hard to play in a different country? Is it hard to learn the different cultures and the language and different things that the United States and St. Cloud State has to offer?
Well, yeah, like some things are hard, and obviously like the language is like the biggest difference. So
how do you go about communicating, especially when you're on the ice? Or is that a universal language where hockey is hockey?
No, it's not.
It's different? Okay.
It's different,
okay.
yeah.
So what things do you have to do to prepare yourself to get ready for a game?
I mean, it's still the same game. Like, it's just like everything's cold, different stuff, and like, but you just have to learn. Like, I feel like I've been like, from when I first got here, I didn't know like anything. When the coach was talking, I was like, what is he saying? So like, but that's gotten better.
What do you think about this team? How have you been accepted and welcomed?
I feel like I've been like welcomed in a really good way. Everyone's taking care of me, and I really like everyone on the team.
Is there one game that stands out in your mind that was the most exciting to you so far?
Playing the Gophers was awesome. It was really fun. They were really good, but I really like the fact that we could compete with them, because like I've heard like before that they're so good, like they're unbelievable like that, and like even though they're really good, like I didn't feel like we were that like far behind, so it was really great.
You guys are on your way.
Yeah.
I've been told by some other players on the team here that you got a pretty good slap shot. Hopefully we can get that showcase here pretty soon. You're still looking for your first point here as a new member of the St. Cloud State University. So talk a little bit about your slap shot and how you developed that.
I don't know. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, they say that you're right behind Audrey Hanmer. That she's got a little bit more mustard on her, but you're pretty potent to come in as a freshman.
Yeah. Well, Audrey is unreal.
Is that a gift that you had, or is it something that you continue to work on?
I don't work on it that much, so I guess it's just like, it just came. I don't know.
You excited to go to Colorado this weekend?
I'm super excited.
Yeah? Okay. And since you're from Sweden, do you want to say hello to your family or friends in Sweden before I let you go?
In Swedish?
Yeah.
Okej. Hej allihop där hemma, det här är Caroline och jag vill bara säga tack för att ni lyssnar på mig och jag hoppas att ni har det bra. Vi ses om en månad. Hej då.
Very good. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
Caroline Markstrom, freshman defender, wears number 11 for the St. Cloud State Huskies, a member of our player segment here on the Jeff Giesen Show. We'll break. We'll come back with the coach right after this.
The Arts and Cultural Heritage funded program, The Untold Stories of Central Minnesota, has regular new podcasts available for your listening pleasure. This is Jeff Carmack, Arts and Cultural Heritage producer for KVSC, and The Untold Stories of Central Minnesota is a continuing series which digs deep into the varied historical background of Central Minnesota. You can learn more about the restoration of the Paramount Theater, the St. Cloud State University archives, various programming featured at the Stearns History Museum, and much, much more. Also, if you have an idea for an untold story of Central Minnesota, you can email it to us at info@kvsc.org. The Untold Stories of Central Minnesota can be found on our website at www.kvsc.org under the Podcasts and Untold Stories of Central Minnesota link.
Hello, this is senior forward Amy Olsen from the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. Follow everything Huskies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right here on KVSC Sports Stream.
And welcome back to our final segment. This is the Jeff Giesen Show on KVSC, joined by the head coach of the St. Cloud State women's hockey team, Jeff Giesen. WCHA, we'll put that aside for a little while. Now you guys have a very interesting trip coming up this weekend. You guys would be going to Vail, Colorado for the Vail tournament. How good is the timing for this tournament right now in your season to kind of put league play behind you and go have a little bit of fun?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect time. It's going to be two very good games. Obviously, we're still playing a ranked opponent in Boston University, and we're playing a very, very good team, Northeastern, who's been a top-half team in Hockey East the last few years. So two good opponents, but a little different sights. Morning coffee is going to be a little different looking out the window of the hotel than normal this weekend. And we're excited. Our whole team's coming with. Heather Weems is going to travel with us this weekend, so kind of got everybody going. It's going to be a great team bonding trip as much as it's going to be the hockey trip. But obviously, like I told the girls yesterday, in practice, businesses first and foremost. We got to try to get a couple wins in some non-conference games.
Will you have some time out there to do anything other than hockey? You bring in any skis or any sightseeing out there?
No, hopefully, from what I've heard, I've never been to Vail. I would have heard it's a beautiful place, and we obviously play the afternoon games, so we'll have some time to walk around the village a little bit. Saturday on our way out, we're going to hit downtown Denver and stroll the 16th Street Mall there and kind of take in the Denver sights. But, we're obviously hockey's first and foremost, and it's a business trip, and we need to take care of that first.
Is it difficult as a coach and a coaching staff to go to places like this with a big group of players? Can you maybe talk about the players that you have with you and maybe the trust that you have with them when you guys go on road trips?
No, I think we have great kids and we have great character kids, and they know what their job is and what they're trying to do. We always are happy to travel with our kids. We get more notes from random people in airports saying, your players were so polite and this and that, and which is bodes well for the kind of kids we have here right now.
Then after Vail, you guys will have a week off, so you go on a little sightseeing tour there to play Boston University and Northeastern, as you mentioned. Then you guys will get a rest before you take on 3 WCHA opponents before the end of the year. So a nice little break, a little vacation, a little rest before you guys get back into the grind.
Yeah, well, obviously the break couldn't came at a better time. We're obviously getting a war down. We've had some unbelievably tough series, physically and emotionally, and then this trip. And it's never great to travel or traveling back on Sunday, so you really don't get a day off. So we'll be able to kind of take that next week to rest. Then we actually have a non-conference series before we get going back in our last 4 WCHA games, and then it's Christmas. So we got 6 games left after this trip and after the break. So hopefully puts us in a real good position coming back after the holidays.
Yeah, that non-conference team will be RPI. That'll be coming up. So talk a little bit about where this team was when you started preseason camp and where they are now. How much have you seen your team evolved?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just that they've started to believe in themselves. I mean, you can talk as a coach all you want that you're as good as somebody else, but I think we've proven that we can play with teams, and now it's just a matter of, all right, now we got to get it over the hump here and get some wins. But, we have had no quit games. We haven't had any games that have spun out of control and they've just said, let's get out of here. We're not like that. We're going to compete to the bitter end, and teams don't want to play us right now. And like I said, talking to Minnesota's staff after the weekend, we gave them all they could handle. Now, that wasn't good enough, but anybody else, we're going to keep giving them all they can handle.
Pretty memorable season so far. You guys defeated the Olympic team from Japan. You hung in there with Quinnipiac. You got a tie versus Ohio State. You went up to Duluth and got a win up there and a tie. And now, it's been duly noted and reported on what you guys did versus the University of Minnesota. So even though there's only one win in the win column right now, by the way things are going, Coach, we can probably expect a lot more before the season's over.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. I think I've pointed out to the kids in our room before. I mean, we're one win, but we're in 6th place in an 8-team league, and we're in 15th place in an early season pairwise out of 34 teams. We're right in the middle of the pack with one win. Like I said, we've played the toughest schedule in the country so far, and that's going to make us better here down the stretch. And it's about being ahead at the end, not right now.
Coach, thanks for your time, and have a good vacation and a good tournament in Vail, Colorado.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Jeff Giesen, head coach of the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. This has been the Jeff Giesen Show on KVSC.
Hello, this is senior forward Amanda Monkman from the St. Cloud State women's hockey team. This is the Jeff Giesen Show on KVSC.